Hey there, guys. It's Metro. Today we're back. Another small entry in the DK Topics guide where I give my detailed opinion on topics related to Death Knight. This one's not really related to Death Knight, but something that comes up very, very frequently on the stream. And I really feel like I needed to make a video on it just so I could answer it in a concise way. Now, I don't really know what the root of this question is, but the question I get all the time is, what item level should I, or what level key, this Mythic Plus, what Mythic Plus level key should I focus on for X item level, for my item level? And at first, I thought people were like, I don't know, I thought people were thinking that you actually had to be a certain item level to do certain parts of dungeons, or, you know, whatever. But I think really the root of the question is, I'm pugging, so what item level should I be to be accepted to the group? Now, if that's the question, it's all bets are off. The answer is not, I can't answer it, because people don't give as much of a care about item level as you might think they do for pugging. In fact, a group that would solely care about item level is probably not a very good group. Now, obviously, you know me publicly, not a big fan of the Raider.io's current metrics, but regardless, it's definitely better than just looking at item level. So if that's your question, the answer is don't worry about that, okay? Just get as much gear as you can, and if you're looking exclusively to sign up to groups, there's more things that you need to worry about. That's for a different video. Today, I want to talk about the question maybe potentially being how geared is comfortable for these keys. I assume that's why people are asking as well. Like, you know, it's probably 50-50 at this point, but if you're asking, am I geared enough for this key? I'm going to tell you a little something about how gearing works that will hopefully quench your thirst on this topic. Let's say that. So up here on the screen, this is from Wowhead, great article they have here. I would, you know, if you want to look it up, you can. But regardless, what you see here is the breakpoints of gear throughout the dungeons, okay? And this is a really big deal. Let me pull this over here because this is a really big deal. And what you see is pretty obvious. You really want to be doing certain thresholds, okay? For example, you want to be getting the best bang for your buck. So for some reason, you're stuck trying to get 360 gear, then you want to be doing a 4, okay? Because a 5 is just going to be harder, and it's not going to give the same gear. I don't know what that asterisk is there for, but regardless, you know, this is something to consider. If for some reason you're thinking about 370 gear, well, then don't do an 8. Do a 7. You know what I'm saying? This is important to understand. And the good thing about this is, you know, a 370 from the chest. But you also want to consider this as well. This is a really big deal here. And frankly, this is the reason you want to be doing a 10 every week, regardless of your item level. The answer to this question that I'd normally give is 10. No matter what. I'm 350. What should I be doing? 10. 345. 10. I'm 310, dude. I literally... 10. Do 10. Come on, you know what I mean? You want to get the 385 Azerite gear because it's the best gear in the game. If you get lucky with the 385 Azerite gear, it's going to change your character, okay? It really is that important. So you want this. This is what you should be after no matter what. You should be thirsty. You should be starting for this. But if you're worried about being able to survive, I would not worry about that, okay? I'm going to tell you right now. You can look through the channel's history. I did zeros on fresh 120s. Before I even had really any idea what I was doing in Legion and BFA, that is. Multiple characters that were really undergeared, right? Even the Warrior recently, that just happened last week. I did fresh 120, he was like 335 item level, I did a 7, okay? And I upgraded that 7 to a 9, and I probably could have did the 9 as well pretty easily too. Anything below a 10 is really easy to upgrade, by the way. So, my answer, my actual advice here is to just do your own key until you can't do it anymore. Now, a couple people have come forward and said things like, well, I do my own key and the groups are so bad that we fail, or people leave, or whatever. Like, there's arguments and it doesn't go well. And this is a problem with lower keys. So here's a bit of if you're watching the stream all the time, you're seeing me do 5-mans around the clock. You're seeing me do 12s, 14s with no problem, and quote unquote, no problem. This is different than if you're doing a 12 and a 6. Very different compositions of players. So the reason to do a 12 is because you're already established, you're serious about the game, you're successful, and you want to improve your standing. The reason to do a 6 is because you still need a lot of gear, right? So, I mean, that's kind of the way of it. And you're probably not going to get a lot of skilled players who still need a lot of gear in this point in the expansion. But maybe you will. Now, luckily, I don't know. At some point, we're going to try to have a permanent solution for this, okay? I'm not going to say much more than that, but I, myself, am very serious about improving the Mythic Plus community, and I want this to not be a problem for you guys anymore. But regardless, this is my advice, just do your own key, okay? Try to find, like, you know, it sounds kind of scummy, but try to find the most accomplished and geared players that you can for that key. Don't be afraid to wait, okay? Put your key up and wait 10 minutes, like whatever you think is tolerable. Wait 5 to 10 to 15 minutes, and then invite the best geared and the most successful people. And you know, until we get going, I would recommend using the Mythic Plus add-on, because it's a very good add-on. It shows the highest score and or the highest dungeon completion for the dungeon that you're currently listed under. So that could be very useful. Like, you see somebody's done a 10 freehold and you got a 9 freehold. Well, then at least they know what they're doing. You see somebody's got a 4 freehold and you got a 9 freehold. You know, maybe it's not the best group that you put together. So regardless, just be aware of these breakpoints, okay? I'd really recommend this. Please do not, like, if you're worried about gear and you still don't think you could do a 10, please do not do less than a 7. I'm telling you, if 355 Azurite is terrible, that's useless. Hopefully nobody wants 355 gear, right? And doing a 6 is going to reward you 355 gear out of the chest as well, right? So, like, I think the thing that confuses people is the weekly chest is going to be 355 at a 3, right? But then the Azurite gear is only 340. And I've seen people make threads about this. It's like, you don't want to be caught in this limbo here where you're getting higher. You know what I mean? You don't want this. You don't want to be getting a 365 to be replaced by a 355 because you got Azurite gear. That's worse. You understand that? It's almost a punishment. But it's because there's only 4 tiers of Azurite gear. There's 40, 55, 70, and 85. That's it. That's all that's in the video game. You can't get anything else. So when you do a 6 and you're supposed to get 365, but instead you get 355, you feel gypped. Because you should. You just got 10 item levels lower than you're supposed to get. Whereas if you did a 10, you would have got 5 item levels higher than you're supposed to get. Do you understand? So, like, these are very important things to consider. And I know you guys probably think 10s are difficult. But, you know, especially on the week, I'm telling you, the tank, if you're playing a tank, that is, Blood Death Knight, you're really gear agnostic, honestly. Like, just use Bone Storm. You're going to be fine. Just pull 3 or 4 mobs and swirl around a bit with Bone Storm. You can't die. You know what I mean? And this will get you, you'll be more, you'll learn quicker. You know what I mean? You'll learn from your mistakes quicker. Even if you fail, you run into a 10-pack and just get splat. You know what I mean? It would be so bad, right? You feel like you would hate that feeling, but that's what we evolved to do. We evolved to fail and then learn from our failures and get better over time. So please don't be scared. That's all I could say. So I don't know, different type of video here. I just really wanted to get this out here. I hope that you guys will not, you know, the people who continually ask me this question, you know, obviously it's different people every time, but I hope that you'll come to realize that gear has almost no factor on Mythic Plus success. The more gear that the damage dealers and you know, even the tank are, the better it will be. But these timers are not very difficult, sub 10. It's really infested. Infested adds a lot of time to the dungeon. I'm talking about a lot of time. So pretty much, you know, especially anything below a 7, you should have absolutely no problem upgrading. So just do your own key. Don't forget, you can delete your key and get a new one. It's going to be lower than the one you deleted likely. It's a convoluted system. But regardless, just, you know, 9 times out of 10, just realize, without me explaining this, you can delete your key if you got one that you really don't like, get a new one that's slightly lower, and keep trying to push it. Like, for example, you got something you don't think you could even really do. Well, now you delete it, you get a freehold one lower, but you know you could 3 chest freehold, right? Like, it's an easy freehold. So, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, let me know if you guys have comments. This will be a great discussion here in the comment section, I hope. But regardless, I just wanted to give you guys that boost of confidence and kind of give you guys my opinion on whether or not you should feel held back by gear as a Blood Death Knight. The short answer is absolutely not in 5-mans. Just, you know, play the class, use your CDs as often as possible, Bone Storm especially, and you will you'll probably carry your 7 groups, honestly, even if you're under geared. So thank you for watching. We will see you folks in the next one.